Hi everyone and welcome back to my application explanation series. Today we are talking winged eyeliner. I realise this is something that many of you would have attempted and it is really difficult, but I promise you the more you practice the easier it will become, and you will find a way with hopefully all these tips and tricks that I'll give you. You'll find a way that will work best for you. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, so the way I'm going to show you how I do my eyeliner is I'm going to use a gel formula today. This one is the gel liner by Maybelline. Just comes in a little pot like this. The brush that I'll be using is a MAC 266 and it's the smaller version. I think my numbers have rubbed off, but it looks something like this. With these brushes you want to make sure that they are as thin as possible, because if they're angled like this but they're too thick, then you're just going to get a thick line, and the idea of this is to try and make the line as sleek and as slim as possible. On a day-to-day basis, I vary formulas. On myself, I probably use a felt tip pen more than what I do gel, but I will use gel on all of my clients in the salon. My favourite felt tip liners are, one is the Body Shop Star Stamp Liner, which is that one. It looks like that, a little nib like that. And then my other favourite is the L'Oreal Slim felt tip liner. Now when testing felt tip pens, just go on the back of your hand and run it across. If this is a really sort of thin line and it doesn't bleed into the pores of your hands, then that means it's going to work nicely on your eyes. Some felt tip pens can be a little bit too watery, a little bit too inky, so when you do try and pop them on your eye, because everybody's got fine lines all over their eyes, on their eyelids, around this area, it does bleed into them, so it makes your line look a little bit wonky and it's not perfected properly. So just test it out. If they're quite fast drying, then they shouldn't bleed as much as what some can. Okay, so take your brush and coat both sides in your eyeliner. What you don't want to do is have a tiny amount of product on your brush and then it almost pulls. If you've got enough product, then it's going to slide nicely. Take that on the back of your hand and just wipe it off. All this does is it sharpens your brush into a nice shape. Okay, make sure you've got a handheld mirror that you can turn. So look down and also make sure that you can rest your elbow onto a surface as well, because these are little things that are going to make the process a lot easier. If you're trying to freehand this and not have your elbow supported, it's going to make it 10 times more difficult. Okay, so here's the annoying bit when it comes to eyeliner. Unfortunately, one shape doesn't fit all eye shapes. You will have to adapt it slightly depending on what eye shape you have. I've got quite a lot of lid space on show when I open my eyes, so I can make this area quite thick and I can get away with a really nice wing. Unfortunately, this doesn't suit everybody. If you've got hooded eyes, yes, you can wear a winged eyeliner, but there are specific ways that you have to do it, which if you're interested, leave a comment below and I'll try when we're out of lockdown to get a model with hooded eyes so I can show you how to do it on your eye shape. So all I do is from this area here where your bottom lash line is, I take my brush and I draw a line outwards but slightly upwards towards my brow. Then all I do is I don't go right to the very end. I leave a tiny little tail of it, and I take my brush, always looking down, and I pull that back on myself like that. So I've got this area now which has got a gap in the middle, but we'll come back to that later. We're just perfecting the flick at the moment. Take some more product on your brush. As well, this won't work if your product's really, really dry. Now when you're doing the tail, turn your brush so the tip of it is facing inwards, and you can just perfect the end slightly. Because sometimes it goes a little bit wobbly. Then all you need to do is fill that area in. Try and get as close to your lash line as possible. Get right in between your lashes and go all the way along. Depending on how much lid space you've got on show, depends on how thick your wing is and how thick this line is here. If you've not got that much space, keep it nice and thin. And then when you want to do the inner corner, again keep looking down. Don't fully close your eyes when you're doing this. Lots of little strokes. Because if you try and, you know, do a stroke that's from one end to the other, you're going to go a little bit wobbly. So just make sure you're doing lots of little ones. Take this brush, if you're feeling really, really confident, try and take this brush into this area there, because that is what takes your eyeliner from sort of amateur to pro, is if you fill in that gap. Take your time with this. The eyeliner is something that you aren't going to pick up in a day if you know, can't do it. It's something that you are going to practice and practice and practice until you get it right. Eyeliner as well is completely unique to every single person. So you may find a formula, a brush, a way that you place your hands, and a way that you do it that specifically works for you. Okay, so take little bits of what I'm telling you and just adapt them until you get it right and until it suits you. But just little steps. Don't rush, and don't ever attempt eyeliner when you're in a hurry, because yeah, it's just not worth it. Right, I'm gonna make this area a little bit thicker. Just gonna come back on myself. If you've made any mistakes or this line here isn't as sort of perfect as what you want it to be, don't panic. There's a little trick for that. What I do is I take my concealer that I've been using, I put a tiny bit on the back of my hand, because you only literally need a tiny bit, and then I take this brush here. Now any sort of fine concealer brush will do, but this one has got a tapered edge to it. This is the ZOEVA, I can't see the number, but it's basically a brow line concealer brush. And then all I do is, if I've made any mistakes, I just neaten up that line. As well, if you've made the end too thick, this is a good way to slim it down as well. There we go. If you have managed to get in this area here and fill it in, you will probably find, depending on what formula you're using, you cannot do that with a felt tip or a liquid liner because the formula is too harsh to go in that area. But a gel and a pencil work really nicely, but sometimes they will transfer onto your bottom lash line. So if they do, and to save you getting that sort of like smudgy area right in the corner of your eye, just take a cotton pad, a cotton bud, sorry, and take that away. Eyeliner never looks finished until you put your like mascara on and false lashes on if you want them. So don't beat yourself up over it if you're finding, oh my god, it's not looking right. Finish your makeup, put your mascara on and then see how it looks, because I can assure you it will probably look 9 times better when you've finished everything than, you know, unless you keep going back to it, and you'll mess it up more. So yeah, pop your mascara on and then see how it looks. Then you can tweak it slightly once that's on. Okay, so when I teach people to do this in my makeup classes, I tell them to do their eye that they find the hardest to do first, because then it's easier to match that one on the eye that you can do quite easily, instead of doing the one that you can do really easily and then try and match the one that you can't do with that one. Does that make sense? So let me go on to the other eye. Same again. Let me put my mascara and lashes on and then you can see the final look. So there we have the finished look, guys. I told you that it does look better with mascara and lashes, and as you can see it does really finish the eyeliner off. If you're interested in how I got my hair like this, check out the video, I'll leave it in the description below. Yeah, and if you decide to try this and it's successful and you post it on Instagram, please make sure you tag me so I can have a look. If you are struggling, just let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to try and work out why you're struggling, what I can help with, and hopefully we can get you through that. So I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you real soon. Bye!